There's potential for the May 4th fight between Canelo Alvarez and whoever he's going to fight may not come to fruition because of the deep economic and financial crisis that's currently going on.
After Edgar Berlanga defeated Padraig McCrory on Saturday and called out Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican undisputed super middleweight champion responded and gave a witty reply. We'll explain the significance of Canelo's response and what it means for his next fight later on in this video, but before that, let's look at the incredibly confusing situation Canelo has found himself in. Canelo Alvarez has a lot of potential contenders at super middleweight vying for the upcoming fight date on May 4th. So far, Canelo only seems interested in fighting Charlo, the current WBC middleweight 160-pound champion. This is the fight Canelo is interested in and is looking forward to this May. However, no one else, including the PBC with whom Canelo signed a contract, is interested in this fight. The PBC is instead pushing Canelo to fight Jamie Munguia with a lucrative $35 million guarantee for his next fight if he faces the #1 WBO super middleweight contender in May. The PBC, however, is willing to make a Canelo versus Charlo fight happen if that's what he wants. It's, however, unlikely that the Mexican superstar will make that same kind of money fighting Charlo compared to Munguia. Canelo's massive $35 million purse with PBC can't be guaranteed if he fights Jermall. If Canelo doesn't agree to take the fight with Munguia, as the PBC wants him to, he can look for other options outside of PBC, said a source to ESPN Knockout. The source continued, "Not many promoters can give him that guarantee of around $35 million, and some he has already worked with before. It could be next to impossible for Canelo to get that kind of money with another promotional company for a lesser fight against Charlo." Speaking of the potential Canelo versus Munguia fight, this isn't a better deal than the Charlo fight. Canelo versus Munguia might sell in Mexico, but Americans wouldn't be eager to pay to see that on PPV. Maybe some fans in the US will be eager to see Canelo fight the badly flawed Munguia, but it will probably not be enough for the event to turn a profit. Al Haymon's PBC could be making a mistake if they believe that fans want to see Canelo face the unbeaten #1 WBO-ranked Munguia, 43-0-34 KOs, who has one of the most padded resumes in the sport. Recently, Canelo found a new contender in Edgar Berlanga. The New York boxer of Puerto Rican descent announced himself in grand style after defeating Irishman Padraig McCrory. Berlanga's promoter, Eddie Hearn, was quick to call out Canelo and wanted to make a fight happen on May 4th. He's mandatory now for Canelo's title. He's number 1 with the WBA, said Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn. It's only a matter of time. Canelo Alvarez is the greatest fighter in the sport. Berlanga wants to challenge himself against the greatest fighters. Puerto Rico against Mexico, that would be a huge event. Maybe there is one more fight for Berlanga, but if the call came, he wouldn't back down. He wouldn't run away and try to survive for 12 rounds.
Go. You know, he was firing till the end, and that was exactly the statement that we needed from Edgar. He's now WBA #1. He's the mandatory challenger for Canelo Alvarez. That fight's going to happen, whether it's in May, whether it's...
Eddie Hearn did state that Berlanga could fight once more before officially challenging Canelo to a fight. However, he does seem interested in this fight taking place. Following Berlanga's call out, Canelo decided to respond, and he made his intentions clear. In a tweet posted by Michael Benson, Canelo wants all the fighters vying to fight him to first fight one another in order to decide the most suitable contender. The tweet from Benson reads, and we quote, "Canelo Alvarez repeatedly stated that the contenders queuing up to face him should fight each other to earn their shot." Good win for Edgar Berlanga overnight, stopping Padraig McCrory, but only David Benavidez truly fulfilled this criteria with his 2 wins last year. So, from all these potential contenders, only David Benavidez, Canelo's mandatory, has fulfilled all the requirements. He should be the top contender for Canelo's next fight, but Canelo isn't interested in Benavidez. The Mexican monster has been calling Canelo to fight him for over a year, but Canelo has not even once entertained the talk about fighting Benavidez. Keep in mind, this is a fight that everyone wants to see, and fans are furious with Canelo's gimmicks. One user wrote on X, "Did you see how quickly Canelo was willing to arrange fights with his mandatories, Yildirim and Ryder, who are terrible and beat nobody?" Yet Benavidez has been his mandatory for years and beat top challengers himself, and Canelo has been avoiding this the whole time. Terrible. Another posted a meme about Canelo ducking Benavidez and wrote this in the caption, "Better call Canelo." Another commented, "Yildirim Khan Rider." Charlo didn't have to jump through the super mid hoops that Benavidez has. Another comment stated, "Then book the fight." Seriously, Canelo versus Benavidez should have happened already. Taking a dig at Canelo, one user wrote, "Canelo is an embarrassment simply." Many people might be confused as to the reason why Canelo hasn't announced a tight yet. May 4th is just 2 months away, and by now we should have had Canelo's upcoming fight confirmed for May 4th. Now, there could be a reason why we still have no news about Canelo's next fight. Michael Benson recently posted a new tweet where he wrote, "Canelo Alvarez's next 2 fights now look unlikely to be with Al Haymon's PBC, and he is instead reported to be eyeing a return to Eddie Hearn's Matchroom to fight Edgar Berlanga and Munguia on DAZN this year, according to Achavi SPN. In case you don't know, Canelo signed a blockbuster 3-fight deal with Al Haymon's PBC worth $100 million back in June last year. Canelo left Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing and joined PBC, and it was revealed that Canelo's 2 remaining fights in 2024, scheduled for May and September, would be managed by the PBC. The first fight already took place in September last year, when Canelo successfully defended his belts against Charlo. It now shouldn't come as a surprise why the PBC wanted Canelo to fight Jaime Munguia instead of Charlo next. The PBC wants a return on their investment, and while they don't want the Mexican superstar to fight a challenging contender in David Benavidez, they want a less challenging and potentially winnable fight in Munguia. In the high-octane world of professional boxing, strategic career moves are just as crucial as the battles fought within the ropes. For Saul Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing and a pugilist at the pinnacle of his powers, the decision-making process regarding fight selections carries immense weight. The proposition of a fight against Jaime Munguia, coupled with a lucrative $35 million deal, represents a missed golden opportunity for Canelo, one that could have set the stage for an even grander finale under Premier Boxing Champions, PBC, against David Benavidez. At the heart of the argument for accepting the Munguia fight lies the staggering $35 million deal. In a sport where financial rewards are directly tied to the risk and marketability of a fight, this sum is not just a testament to Canelo's superstar status, but also an indicator of the commercial viability of the matchup. For Canelo, this fight represented an easy payday for several reasons. Munguia, while a formidable fighter in his own right, does not possess the same level of experience at the super middleweight level as Canelo. This financial windfall, for a fight that many would consider less risky, could have bolstered Canelo's earnings significantly, allowing him more freedom in choosing future opponents without the pressure of financial considerations. Beyond the immediate financial gain, accepting a fight with Munguia could have been a strategic masterstroke for Canelo. With the boxing world clamoring for a showdown between Canelo and David Benavidez, a fight with Munguia would serve as an ideal tune-up. It would keep Canelo active, sharpen his skills against a younger, aggressive fighter, and maintain public interest in his career trajectory. This approach would not only satisfy fans' immediate desires, but also build anticipation for a blockbuster finale against Benavidez, a fight that has the potential to be a defining moment in Canelo's illustrious career. For Premier Boxing Champions, orchestrating a fight between Canelo and Munguia, followed by a showdown with Benavidez, would be a promotional dream. It would keep Canelo within the PBC ecosystem for 2 high-profile fights, generating substantial revenue and elevating the brand's prestige in the competitive boxing promotion landscape. For Canelo, sticking with PBC for these fights ensures a level of promotional support and visibility that few can match, potentially making his final fight under PBC against Benavidez one of the most anticipated and lucrative bouts in recent memory.
There is potential for the May 4th fight between Canelo Alvarez and whoever he's going to fight. May not come to fruition because of the deep economic and financial crisis that's currently going on.
Now, the proposed bout between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Charlo in 2024 under the Premier Boxing Champions, PBC banner, presents a scenario fraught with financial and promotional risks. This matchup, while seemingly attractive on paper, carries significant potential for loss for PBC, primarily due to the diminished public interest stemming from a series of events that unfolded in the previous year. The initial interest in a fight between Canelo and Charlo was palpable. However, the bout was scheduled for September of the previous year, only for Jermall to pull out. In an unexpected turn of events, Charlo, Jermall's brother, stepped in to face Canelo, a fight that culminated in Canelo's victory. This sequence of events has significantly diluted the anticipation for a Canelo versus Charlo fight on May 4th. The narrative of brotherly redemption could have been compelling, but with Canelo already defeating one Charlo brother, the storyline feels less compelling and somewhat redundant to the boxing community. For premier boxing champions, the financial stakes of hosting a Canelo fight are always high, given his status as one of the sport's biggest draws. Canelo commands a hefty purse for his appearances, a fixed cost that PBC must bear irrespective of his opponent. The decision to proceed with a Canelo versus Charlo fight, in light of the aforementioned factors, poses a significant financial gamble. The lack of public interest directly impacts pay-per-view sales, ticket sales, and overall revenue generation, potentially leading to a scenario where the cost of hosting the fight eclipses the revenue it generates. The boxing audience's appetite for high-stakes, compelling matchups is what drives the sport's economics. However, there is a delicate balance between delivering anticipated fights and oversaturating the market with matchups that fail to excite the fan base. A Canelo versus Charlo fight, given the backdrop of Canelo's recent victory over Jermell, risks falling into the latter category. Fans are looking for fresh challenges and narratives that captivate their imagination. Revisiting the Charlo storyline may be viewed as a step back rather than a step forward, leading to potential fan disengagement and disappointment. Canelo is not only putting his legacy at stake, but he's also putting the PBC at financial risk with his demand for a Charlo fight. And as per Benson's tweet, Canelo could return to Matchroom Boxing and Eddie Hearn and sign a new deal with them instead of the PBC. With Hearn, Canelo fought guys like John Ryder, Billy Joe Saunders, Avni Yildirim, and his disastrous bout with Dimitri Bivol. If Canelo signs a deal with Matchroom Boxing, we could see a fight between Berlanga and Canelo happen. But it won't happen on May 4th. Berlanga is interested in fighting Canelo, but it is unlikely to happen now. Berlanga knows this, so he has decided to challenge Munguia instead. Berlanga, known for his explosive power and a streak of first-round knockouts early in his career, has set his sights on Munguia, a fighter renowned for his resilience and aggressive fighting style. This call-out is not just a challenge, it's a statement of intent from Berlanga, signaling his readiness to ascend to the upper echelons of the division.
And Edgar Berlanga has come out recently stating that he promises to knock out Jaime Munguia in the fight of the year. He states, "I really want that fight with Jaime Munguia."
Berlanga's bold proclamation of knocking out Munguia in what he anticipates to be the fight of the year is a testament to his confidence. However, critics and fans alike have raised eyebrows, questioning Berlanga's capability to deliver on such a promise, especially considering his recent performances against fighters like Dion Nicholson, Steve Rolls, and Jason Quigley, where he failed to secure the knockout victories he was known for. This skepticism adds a layer of intrigue to the potential matchup, challenging Berlanga to prove his doubters wrong and re-establish himself as a knockout artist. In a separate discussion, Berlanga opened up about his move to Florida, citing the need to focus on his career and provide a better upbringing for his son as primary motivators. This relocation is also strategic, aiming to immerse himself in an environment conducive to growth and discipline, away from the distractions of New York City. Berlanga's acknowledgement of the need for a change in scenery to reach his full potential is a mature decision, reflecting his commitment to his craft and his career's longevity. A fight between Berlanga and Munguia would not only be a thrilling matchup for fans, but also a pivotal moment in both fighters' careers. For Berlanga, it represents an opportunity to silence critics and solidify his status as a legitimate contender in the super middleweight division. For Munguia, it's a chance to fend off a rising star and continue his ascent toward the top of the boxing world. The stylistic matchup promises fireworks, with both fighters known for their aggressive styles and willingness to engage in exchanges. Besides Munguia, there are other potential contenders, one of them being David Morrell, following Berlanga's victory over McCrory. David Morrell gave a surprising reaction to the fight. His reaction to Berlanga's victory over Padraig McCrory was one of confident dismissal, suggesting that while he acknowledges Berlanga as a competent fighter, he personally views a potential matchup with Berlanga as an easy win for himself. Morrell's comments, laced with a sense of assurance in his own boxing prowess, underline his belief that he is the superior fighter when compared to Berlanga. Morrell described Berlanga's knockout victory as a performance against an opponent who was not on his level, implying that while Berlanga did secure a win, the victory did not significantly elevate his standing in Morrell's eyes. The term "easy money" was used by Morrell to encapsulate his perspective on a fight with Berlanga, indicating not only his confidence in winning such a bout, but also his belief that it would not pose a significant challenge to him. Furthermore, Morrell expressed his readiness to face Berlanga, stating, "I'm ready," which showcases his willingness to prove his superiority in the ring. This readiness also reflects Morrell's broader ambition in the boxing world, where he aims to establish himself as the best by taking on and defeating what he perceives as lesser competition. When asked about the possibility of facing Canelo Alvarez in the future, Morrell remained open to the idea, suggesting that he is prepared for any challenge, including a bout with one of boxing's biggest names. This openness to fighting Canelo indicates Morrell's confidence in his abilities and his desire to compete at the highest levels of the sport. Morrell's reaction to Berlanga's victory and his subsequent comments highlight a boxer who is supremely confident in his skills and ready to take on all comers. By labeling a potential fight with Berlanga as easy money, Morrell is throwing down the gauntlet, signaling his belief that he is a force to be reckoned with in the boxing world. His willingness to face Canelo Alvarez further underscores his ambition and confidence. Morrell's comments post-Berlanga's victory serve as a bold statement of intent, showcasing his desire to dominate the boxing scene and take on any and all challengers.
I'm just behind to get fight, but it's my son, you know, like, easy money, easy money for me. I'm not going to easy money, bro. I told you, everybody, I told you now.
Now, during his post-fight interview, Berlanga responded to Morrell's call out. His response was measured and focused, indicating that while he acknowledges Morrell's challenge, his sights are set on bigger opportunities within the boxing landscape. He expressed his desire to fight Canelo, indicating that Morrell was not in his plans. Berlanga's reaction underscores his strategic approach to his career trajectory, prioritizing fights that align with his goals of facing top-tier opponents and advancing his position in the sport. When asked directly about the possibility of fighting David Morrell, Berlanga expressed a clear preference for pursuing bigger things, hinting at his desire to secure more prominent and potentially more lucrative matchups. This response reflects Berlanga's ambition and his assessment of the boxing scene, where he seeks to maximize the impact of each fight on his career. The mention of being awarded the WBA #1 position for the title suggests that Berlanga is looking to leverage his current standing to aim for high-profile fights, possibly against marquee names like Canelo Alvarez or Jaime Munguia.
If you couldn't get Munguia, if you couldn't get Canelo, would you consider Morrell for your next fight?
Nah, we on to something different right now. You know, I know they gave us a WBA medal, #1.
Berlanga's focus on something different than a bout with Morrell indicates a strategic choice to navigate his career path towards fights that offer greater visibility, prestige, and potential for advancement. This approach is not uncommon in boxing, where fighters and their teams carefully select opponents based on a variety of factors, including marketability, risk, and reward. But who do you think Canelo will fight on May 4th? Will he fight Munguia, Charlo, or Edgar Berlanga? Also, will he drop PBC and sign with Matchroom Boxing? Let us know in the comments. That's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for the latest notifications so that you never miss out on videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.